A kitten was born with 4 ears in a backyard, and what happened next proves we'd been thinking about adoption all wrong. When a woman named Ktten got a call about a stray cat who'd just given birth, she expected the usual story. 6 kittens, find them homes, everyone's happy. But one kitten stopped everyone in their tracks. This kitten had 2 extra ears growing right in front of the normal ones. Not a trick of the light, not shadows, real ears. And immediately, the same question everyone was thinking: will anyone want her? In the next 10 minutes, you'll discover why that question was backwards from the start, and how a cat named Midas became living proof that what makes us different is exactly what makes us unforgettable. Here's the thing nobody talks about with rescue animals. The fear isn't just about finding them a home, it's about them keeping that home. Ktten knew this kitten was special. Not in the inspirational poster way, but in the real world where people return pets when things get complicated way. What if someone adopted her out of novelty? What if health issues showed up later and they didn't want to deal with it? What if those 4 ears were just the beginning of something more serious? So Ktten made a decision that would change everything. She adopted Midas herself. Now, you might be thinking, that's a nice story, but was it really that big of a deal? Here's where it gets interesting. Ktten already had 2 golden retrievers at home. Her house was already full of fur, chaos, and the kind of energy that makes you tired just watching. Most people would have said, no room. But here's what Ktten understood that most of us miss. There's always room when it matters. She named the kitten Midas, after the Greek king whose touch turned everything to gold. And that name? It turned out to be prophetic. Let's talk about what actually happened here, because those 4 ears aren't just cute, they're fascinating. Veterinarians explain that Midas has a rare genetic mutation. All 4 ears are connected to her ear canal, but here's the twist. She doesn't have superhero hearing. She can't detect sounds from miles away or hear conversations through walls. She's just a regular cat with extraordinary looks. She also has a slightly misshapen jaw, but, and this is crucial, it doesn't affect her health at all. She eats normally, she plays normally, she lives a completely normal life. And look, I get it. When you first hear genetic mutation and misshapen jaw, alarm bells go off. We're trained to think different equals broken. But Midas shattered that assumption from day one. Wait, let me show you something. The real test of Midas's personality came when she met her new roommates, 2 golden retrievers who probably outweighed her by about 60 pounds each. This is where most people would panic. Tiny kitten with a visible difference meeting 2 massive dogs? Recipe for disaster, right? Wrong. From the moment Midas walked into that home, she displayed something that shocked everyone. Absolute confidence. No hesitation, no hiding. She explored every corner of the house like she owned it. And the golden retrievers? They were obsessed. Within a week, 7 days, these 3 animals were regularly found sleeping together in a pile of fur and contentment. The dogs treated her with gentle curiosity, and Midas treated them like warm, breathing furniture. But here's the crazy part. Midas didn't just adapt, she thrived. Her personality exploded, playful, affectionate, occasionally mischievous in that perfect cat way. She climbs into laps during work calls, she taps faces gently when she wants attention, and despite having 4 ears, she sometimes pretends not to hear when she's called. Classic cat move. 4 ears or not, selective hearing is universal. Now, you might be wondering how the world found out about this 4-eared wonder. 1 photo. That's all it took. A single image of Midas appeared online and the internet lost its collective mind. People from dozens of countries became fascinated by the cat with 4 ears. The following grew massive. The comments poured in. And suddenly, Midas wasn't just a rescue cat. She was a phenomenon. But here's what's fascinating about the response. People weren't just drawn to her appearance. They were drawn to her story. Because here's something most people don't realize about Midas. She has a small, natural white patch on her chest. And that patch? It's shaped like a heart. I'm not making that up. The cat with 4 ears, who was almost passed over because she looked different, has a literal heart on her chest. If you wrote this in a movie, people would call it too on the nose, but reality doesn't care about subtlety. And this is where the story stops being just about a unique cat and starts being about something bigger. Here's what Midas actually teaches us, and why this matters beyond cute animal content. We're terrible at recognizing value in what looks different. Think about it. When that kitten was born, the first instinct was concern. Will anyone want her? As if 4 ears made her less than. As if looking unusual somehow diminished her worth. But every single thing that happened after proved that question was absurd. The dogs didn't care about her ears. They cared about her energy, her personality, her presence. Canis didn't adopt her out of pity. She adopted her because there was connection. And the millions of people who fell in love with Midas online, they weren't drawn to a deformity. They were drawn to joy, confidence, and that inexplicable thing that makes certain beings unforgettable. Midas doesn't need perfect symmetry to be perfect. She just needs to be herself. And look, this extends way beyond cats. We do this with people too. We pass over job candidates because they don't fit the mold. We overlook friendships because someone seems different. We reject opportunities because they don't look like what we expected. We confuse unusual with unworthy. But here's what Midas proves every single day. What makes you different is often exactly what makes you irreplaceable. If this changed how you think about adoption, rescue animals, or just recognizing value in unexpected places, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want more stories that make you rethink what you thought you knew. And drop a comment. What's something different in your life that turned out to be exactly what you needed? Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.